So, IVF is very expensive.
Yes.
It costs between $40,000 and $62,000.
Hmm.
That's according to the clinic, the CCRM fertility clinic.
Sure.
Um, if you don't mind me asking, how did you pay for this? Did
Yeah,
you use
sure.
health insurance, or is this you said you did use health insurance?
No, I did not. So when
Okay.
I did this, I'll be 50 next month. So when I did this, I was closer to 39. So over 10 years ago, it was not a thing for insurance to pick up the cost of any fertility treatments at that time. And I'm not sure if I would have qualified either because I had not been diagnosed with any issues with fertility per se. So one of the things that made it affordable for me is the egg. I separated the egg harvesting from the actual embryo fertilization and the actual transfer of the embryo back into my body. So when you split it up, it's a little easier to manage the finances of it. So this was over 10 years ago, but my egg harvesting process cost a little over $10,000 at the time. And I was able, and there are payment plans that most of these fertility clinics have. They take credit cards. I pieced it all together. I am a Wall Street executive, so I did get like year-end bonuses, and that did help fund my specific first stage, which was the egg harvesting. And then the egg stayed on ice for over, 5, 6 years. And it wasn't until I was ready to pull the trigger that another series of bills and expenses came with that. So that is a way that
Hmm.
you can think about making it a little more manageable if you split it up in sections. But some families prefer to do it all at one time. I did read in my research that the most fertile time to harvest your eggs is in your 20s. So I've already started thinking about how to save for my daughter and giving her that gift at age 25 or so of that insurance of just knowing she has eggs on ice if for some reason there are any problems when she decides to start a family. So that is how I managed it. But now there are fintechs that support women's health that have programs to help fund this. As you mentioned, insurance companies now have it. Employers do have that as an incentive to attract more female employees when they are able to cover some, if not all, of the cost of IVF, which is really special, spectacular. And I'm very proud that our country has advanced enough, to take that consideration for women who need this
Yeah.
support.
Talk to me a little more about saving the placenta, because I've heard that, but to be honest with you, I don't really know what that is, what it means to do. I mean, I know what the placenta is, obviously, but I don't understand the logic or science behind saving the
I'll
placenta.
try my best. So the placenta is the lifeline to the baby from the mother in utero. So when you're
Mm-hmm.
pregnant, that's how the child is fed through the placenta. So whatever you're eating, they're eating. Whatever you're drinking, they're drinking, which is why most people recommend no caffeine, no alcohol, those types of things, because everything that you're putting into your body, the baby has exposure to, right? So that is where the first cells are developed and are grown, and that is the lifeline to the baby. So saving the placenta gives you access to stem cells that are basically the building blocks of the rest of the baby's body. So the stem cells are kind of the first cells, and ultimately, stem cells can be used and manipulated to grow outside of the body if, in fact, there is need for them. So, for example, you can take a stem cell and harvest it outside of the body and create the cells you need to help cure or help aid in the medicine for a person. The biggest thing I can think about are like if you need red blood cells or white blood cells, if you have some deficiency in producing those from your bone marrow, you can use and you can utilize stem cells for that. So just look at them as the building blocks of the rest of the human body, and that science will allow us to manipulate them in a way outside of the body to grow and develop to help cure or help provide medicine, additional assistance to help with some diseases. So I can imagine someone with a blood disorder could use their stem cells to create healthier blood cells and they can be re-injected into the body.
Okay. And you mentioned your daughter's having some health challenges, sadly.
Yeah. So in late February, she woke up one day and she couldn't walk. And she
Mm,
asked me to help her walk. And she had been walking for over a year at this point. And I took her to her pediatrician, and I thought it was a balance issue with her ears. She'd had a lot of ear infections as a baby. And we went to the pediatrician. She checked her ears, and we ended up having to put tubes in her ears to help her ears drain properly so she wouldn't get so many frequent infections. And the tubes looked fine. So she looked at her gait, and then she sent us to a children's hospital nearby for x rays. And the x rays came back normal. And that's when your heart just dropped because all of the easy answers have now been eliminated. And now you're facing
mm-hmm.
MRI, staying over in the ER, trying to figure out and diagnose what is wrong with her. Come to find out,